You're listening to the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Also, be sure to check out Play Callers. New episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Hello and welcome to the Tigers Den episode 6. We have a great show for y'all today. First off, the MLB playoffs officially start on Tuesday at 2 p.m. on ABC with the Rangers at the Rays. Also, we got huge blockbuster trades in the NBA going on. We also got a huge weekend of football with the NFL and college football. All of that and more today on the Tigers Den. Also, be sure that y'all text our new fan mail that we have, ahsmassmedia at auburnschools.com. .org, yes. And y'all can text us questions. Y'all can mail us stuff at room 3126 if you go to Auburn High School, or just mail it to the school if you want to mail us fan mail. But ask questions, and we'll answer those on the next podcast. But anyway, let's go on and get on into the show with Weekend Rundown with Reese Kinder. Reese, go ahead and get us started with the rundown.
This is the Weekend Rundown. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great weekend, or I hope you had a great weekend. And I'm just gonna get y'all started with some high school football. I'm gonna get started with Hoover and Mountain Brook. Hoover's had their struggles all season long, and just continues here with losing to Mountain Brook by 10 at home.
Oh my gosh,
34-24. That's
Hoover sucks.
Thanks, Google. Yeah, but no, you're not wrong, Google, because, I mean, Hoover, me and Taylor were on the phone with one of their players, and, he was saying this is their worst start since 1994.
Yeah.
They haven't started 1-5 since 1994.
Noah shoe fraud.
So, yeah. So the Buccaneers are going down fast, and we'll see if they can bounce back against Oak Mountain this upcoming weekend, who's terrible, but you never know.
And team we played on homecoming, Percy Julian, actually got a win. I
saw that
against Carver Montgomery. 21-14. They were able to pull it out at home, and this is a good win for Percy Julian. I know they're not going to make the playoffs, but good win for their head coach, second-year head coach, and just adds to his resume. And that makes him a little better. I don't know who they play next week. I think they play Central?
They play Jag next week, so that's another win.
So yeah, they should they should win there.
I mean, if there was a most improved team, I know they're 2-3, but seeing as how bad they were last year, yeah. I mean, didn't they not win any games last year?
Yeah, last year they were.
I think they won one against Jag.
Oh, they won one. They lost to Jag 2026, but they beat Smith Station by 6 points. So they were 1-9. So
yeah, and then Auburn was able to pull out the victory against Ramsey. Defense.
Yes, sir. Check out Blue Collar Mentality. That episode's going to be heat this week.
35, or not 35. I was looking at something else. 13-7. 13-7. Yeah, it was a low-scoring game. A lot of defense in that game. If you listen to Play Callers podcast, we talked to Coach Kitchens about that game.
Yeah, coming out tomorrow. That's a really good podcast.
Yes. And then the last high school football game I got to talk about is Dothan and Baker. I really thought this was going to be a good game, but Dothan, Sam Broadway really showed out in this game against Baker, and it was at Baker too. But Dothan, we saw it against us. Dothan was able to score a lot of points, but they still lost. And here they were able to score a lot of points, but they were able to pull out the win against Baker.
Yeah, this was a huge surprise because I remember me and Taylor thinking that this wasn't. We thought it was going to be close, but we thought Baker was going to win wholeheartedly. And Dothan obviously surprised us, and they got a huge one at Central next week. Now Central is going to be an overwhelming favorite, and rightfully so next week. But that's going to be one of their biggest games of the season for sure.
Yeah. And now I'm going to move into some college football. College football this weekend, another great slate. Just love the games. Me and Taylor were actually at the Auburn game, and we saw Cam Newton.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
We saw
the Big Hurt.
Frank Thomas, Charles Barkley. Didn't see.
Anders Carlson,
Didn't know where Bo.
Anders was there.
Sunisa Lee.
Yeah,
I saw Suni Lee was there.
Suni Lee was there. Anders was there, but Auburn. Auburn actually played really well.
That's debatable, but
the ending wasn't what I expected and wasn't what other Auburn fans expected. Brock Bowers had a heck of a game. Heck of a tight end. That guy's gonna be in the NFL one day. Peyton Thorne, I was really impressed with what he did. He had an amazing game, and Auburn definitely deserved to win that game. But Georgia they pulled out at the end and had a little bit of luck there at the end with those long plays that they had. But looking at Auburn later on in the season, I think Auburn has a chance to upset some teams later on in the season in Jordan. If it's at Jordan Air Stadium, I think you'll see close games and a lot of possible upsets.
Here's what I'll say. I definitely have to switch up. I know it's early to say, and we'll see in the upcoming weeks. But right now, I'm saying after watching that game, and not gonna lie, we did play okay, and we lost to a number 1 team by 7 points. But I don't think we're beating Alabama as of this weekend. All so right, that's what I'll say.
Max Mesman highlights.
Okay.
They played Mississippi State. Yeah, have you guys seen Max play football? Yeah.
Dang, man.
Yeah, it's actually outrageous. His defense is like almost as good as the Jets' defense.
Reese, the ball literally hit your hands and you didn't catch
it.
So.
Buddy.
Your hands are bricks, but it's fine.
Max, you literally guarded like a penguin.
Bro, you caught like a freaking Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Buddy,
bro, the ball went right through you.
Tip? Did you not see my quadruple tip inbounds to basically win the game?
Yeah, you tipped the ball and then you didn't catch it that one time.
I caught it.
Okay, buddy. Let's stop talking about us playing football. Let's talk about that.
Sorry, you guys go to AHS Mass Media and watch Max Mesman highlights, but we'll go to the next game. Kansas and Texas. I'm never pulling for Kansas again. I'm never pulling for them again to win a football game. They might.
I don't see why you're pulling them for this game, but
what game?
This game against Texas.
Oh yeah. No. Quinn Ewers is 325 passing yards. That's actually crazy. Earlier in the game though, in the third quarter, Kansas was only down by 6 points, and it was very close. But then Texas in the fourth quarter just blew the game open and was able to show what they've got. And Michigan, who I think, in my opinion, should be number one after Georgia almost lost.
100%.
And they beat Nebraska 45-7. Matt Rule is the worst coach in any division. It doesn't matter, NFL, college football, high school football, he still would find a way to suck somehow. But, Nebraska loses 45-7. That wasn't a surprise to me that Nebraska would lose that bad. Washington and Arizona. This kind of scares me for Washington a little bit. 31-24, especially against a amazing Oregon team who won 42-6 at Stanford.
For the O.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix might run all over Washington, especially after this game against Arizona. And it's going to be a tough one, but it is at Washington, so we'll see what happens with that
game's going to be a must watch for sure.
That game should be game day next week, I think.
The week after next week.
The next week, yeah.
Yeah.
The next week is what would be game day. Yeah, and then Notre Dame and Duke. I was really disappointed.
Let's go! It sucks for Riley Leonard, man. I watched the end of that game, man.
Good news about that. Riley Leonard has a high ankle sprain and will miss 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Good for him.
Good for Duke. Yeah. Duke will have him back by the Florida State game because Duke has a well-deserved bye this week, and they'll play State next week and then play Florida State the week after. So if Leonard's able to go by then you might get a good game.
I feel like a lot was revealed about a lot of conferences this week, but I feel like if any conference had the most revealed about it, or at least the middle tier of their conference, was the ACC. I mean, you saw Clemson beat Syracuse at Syracuse, which
Yeah.
I know nobody thought like Syracuse was going to be great, but I mean they're still
I
undefeated.
mean, it wasn't just us. It was a lot of people were kind of, 4-0 Syracuse. A lot of people, when Syracuse usually gets at that point, a lot of people tend to hype them up, and you see what happened. Clemson shut up all the hype and was able to win big in Syracuse too.
Well, not only that, I mean, it's just that a lot of people were downing Clemson. Like
Yeah.
after they lost to Florida State, they're 3-2, or they were 2-2 going into that game.
Yeah.
They were barely favored against Syracuse. They were still favored, but they were barely favored.
Now,
But, I mean, Clemson, don't look for them. They're not going to be in the playoffs. Like that's already out of the question. 2 losses is basically impossible.
I don't
But
think the ACC championship either.
yeah, but no, watch them play like spoiler to a lot of teams like Miami. Watch them play when they play Miami, when they play North Carolina.
They play
like,
Duke well.
You see what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
a team that is still. I think they're gonna figure it out continuously, like they did that one year where they finished like 9-3 or whatever, and they're gonna continuously figure it out and get better throughout the season.
My next game, LSU and Ole Miss. Did you guys watch that game? Because that was a great game. I
saw highlights. I didn't watch it, though.
That was an amazing
5
game.
o'clock kickoff.
Ole Miss, I don't know why they stormed the field. I mean, you beat number 13 LSU, but you're ranked 20th. That's kind of ridiculous to storm the field. And also, one thing I didn't like about Ole Miss's fans, one of LSU's DBs was injured on the play.
I saw this. Yeah,
and he came up and taunted the LSU player. That's completely that's very wrong.
Well, Ole Miss fans we knew they weren't great to begin with, but I mean,
No,
big win for Ole Miss.
They've kind of turned into the new LSU fans.
Yeah.
I also want to get you guys' thoughts on Oklahoma.
I mean, they got Cotton Bowl coming up. Huge game or Red River rivalry. I'm sorry, Red River Showdown.
Yeah, in the Cotton Bowl.
But are they playing in the Cotton Bowl this year though, or are they playing in?
It's in the
AT&T?
Cotton Bowl. It's in the Cotton Bowl Stadium, but there's next week they're calling for rain for that game, so
it might be in AT&T.
Yeah, a little Red River delay. Possibly,
I got you.
If it's
honestly, Oklahoma, I almost picked them as my team huddle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, Oklahoma next week. That's gonna be a very big game between those two teams, and I think it'll be high scoring as well.
Because honestly, they have Texas, of course. Then the rest of their schedule is light. Like they're definitely gonna win out after Texas easily.
Well, no, the one game I think.
Did you say at Kansas?
I know, no.
Okay.
No, I actually no. So I think I know Texas is very good, and that's why Kansas lost to them. But I'm saying at Kansas, like I know Oklahoma's good too, but also at Kansas, I've seen like the atmosphere there, and Kansas like is.
So you are saying at Kansas? Get out of here.
I'm saying I'm saying it's gonna be.
Reese, you just said you wouldn't root for Kansas anymore.
No, I'm saying
you are.
Close. It's not gonna be like a Kansas wins. I'm gonna say it's close. Like I say, Oklahoma might have a little bit of trouble.
If anything, so that's a terrible take, but that's common for Reese. But no, the week after that, I would say is going to be a tougher one, only because it's going to be the last installment of Bedlam for a while, and Oklahoma State fans
Oklahoma State is awful.
I know.
Oklahoma State's 2-2.
Here's what I'll say though. Taylor, would you say, oh, that game's going to be closer, or Kansas at Kansas is going to be closer? I would say
Kansas, because Kansas is actually decent, unlike Oklahoma State.
Okay.
None of them are going to be close. They're going to beat Texas, and they're going to win the whole the whole Big 12.
Okay. You're going ahead and calling it right now. We'll see in Prize Picks later.
All right.
Let's see if you stick with that.
My last college football game.
Yep.
I never, ever, ever want to hear anybody hype up the University of Florida.
Yeah.
I tried to tell people
Taylor
that Kentucky ran over them. How do you allow Ray Davis
to
get 280
oh my gosh
rushing yards?
Broke the record. Oh, wait, did he break the all-time Kentucky record? I saw they were like, I turned off the game towards the end because it was a blowout, but
I think so. They allowed him
280. The record was 294, so he got close, but
yeah, no, that was
280 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Florida still will lose 7 to 8 games this year. They're not making a bowl game.
Reese, there's not even 7 to 8 games left in the season.
They can,
Wait, yes, there is. There's 7 games.
There's
Yeah,
7. This man said 7 or 8. They're
Did they
not
make
going
a
to
bowl
lose
game?
to
Did they
They've
make a bowl
lost
game?
Vanderbilt.
No, they've lost 2. So you beat Vanderbilt. You lose to Missouri, which is at Missouri.
You beat
And then
South Carolina
You beat South
and
Carolina.
Arkansas.
I don't
Yes,
know.
they're beating Arkansas.
Yeah. That's 6.
And they're going to beat the Dogs.
No, they're not
No.
beating Georgia.
I'm sorry, but Georgia sucks. Georgia sucks, but they'll still find a way to
So they'll
win.
make a bowl game. They'll be 6-6 and make
Yeah, they'll
like
be-
the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl or whatever. So
Yeah. They will be 6-6. Now I want to talk about I want to just break down the AP poll like really quick.
yeah, horrible. I mean, it's
Really?
ESPN. So
First I gotta find it because I can't find it all of a sudden. Did y'all see College Game Day? Those like College Game Days in Texas, which obviously we all thought. Yes, the new AP poll for Week 6 is Georgia, who shouldn't be number 1, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State.
Texas should be number 1.
Yeah,
Texas or Michigan?
Florida
Texas.
State, Penn State, Washington, Oregon, USC.
Michigan hasn't played a good team yet.
Yeah,
Notre
yeah,
Dame,
that's fair. That's fair.
Alabama, Oklahoma, should be higher than 12, Washington State, North Carolina, Oregon State, Ole Miss, Miami, Utah, Duke only fell 2 spots, Kentucky.
That's crazy to me.
Well, they lost by 7, so I mean I can kind of see why.
All right, but with their with Riley Leonard being out for 2 to 3 weeks, I mean,
Yeah,
they could lose.
yeah. The only argument I'd say for the reason they dropped it too is like because power rankings, I'm pretty sure they dropped them to 25 or whatever because that's more like how they'll do in the future. But
Yeah. Then Kentucky came in the rankings at 20. That's probably a little too high for them, especially them playing Georgia this weekend at Georgia.
hey,
And then
we'll see. We'll talk
Missouri-
about that game later.
Missouri moved up 2, and I think Missouri. Who does Missouri play this weekend? They got a bye.
Hey, we'll get back. Don't
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about
talk.
Missouri.
Oh yeah, never mind. I forgot. Yeah. Tennessee moved back 1 spot because they blew out South Carolina. LSU moved back 10 spots. Fresno State moved up 1, which they really shouldn't be ranked because they're going to go 12-0 anyway. And then Louisville comes in the rankings at 25.
Louisville at 25 is a good pick. I think that's a good move.
Although here's what I'll say.
Explain to me why Maryland gets cheated out of there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Maryland I feel
should be over Fresno State. That's
Yeah,
all.
no,
I feel like LSU could have dropped out.
Have you seen
Easily.
Fresno State's schedule?
Yeah.
They
No,
play-
Fresno State deserves to be in there just because they won. They were ranked the week ahead. They weren't going to drop them out just because, you know.
Yeah, no, but their schedule for the rest of the season, they got at Wyoming.
Yeah, it's cupcake.
That's a win. At Utah State, that's
They're
a
gonna
win.
win out. We don't even.
Yeah,
have to
wait, that's
list
not
the
a question.
games.
They play in
All
the
these
Mountain
games-
West.
Easy. They're playing like they're playing the Mountain West. So I mean, like, what do they
Yeah.
expect? They're gonna win the Mountain West and probably make a New Year's Six bowl like Tulane did last year. Somehow.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. The main one I disagree on is the Georgia at 1, though. That's just
yeah, no, the Georgia at 1's actually like
it
ridiculous.
doesn't make
Like-
it doesn't make
Like
sense.
Taylor said, I think Texas should be number 1, especially how bad they beat Kansas.
By the way, Jets just scored a touchdown and 2-point conversion.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Hey, hooray!
Yeah.
Dude, Zach
2020.
Wilson is turning into a god right now.
I know.
Yeah, you say that and then
that man's mom's friend is in the crowd.
23 for 31, 216 yards and 2 touchdowns right now.
Yeah, the whole
Top
crowd,
of the third.
Swiftie fans, and they probably don't. They probably asked.
Bro, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Barstool posted a picture of a girl with a Kelsey jersey on, a T Swift fan, and it was spelled Kelsey.
I
Yeah,
didn't see that. but
they
that's
probably
hilarious.
they probably go up to a Chiefs fan, like an actual Chiefs fan. And they're like, is Travas Kelke playing today?
No, I saw one thing. I saw 2 things. One thing where Kelsey's like jersey stock is up like 400% or whatever right now. It's
Yeah,
insane.
then when you break
Hey,
up,
I have one question for y'all about Fresno State though.
Yeah, what's up?
How is Air Force not ranked if they're undefeated as well?
That's
true.
decent
Yeah, Air
question. Who they played though? Who they played?
They
That's
played-
my
But
question.
Air Force is currently first in the division. They haven't played good teams, but neither has Fresno State.
I mean, to be fair, Fresno State, their main so Air Force, while they have beat up everybody they played, they haven't played. The AP poll loves Power 5 teams, which rightfully so. Fresno State has beaten, albeit they're like two of the worst Power 5 teams, but they beaten Arizona State 29-0, and they beat Purdue at Purdue. Air Force hasn't beaten a Power 5 team.
The AP poll also loves Group of 5 schools as well. Like they love when Cincinnati was good, they loved Cincinnati, and then they also loved Marshall.
Bro, Air Force is going to finish undefeated as well. What the heck?
Yeah, no.
Fresno State versus the Air Force 12, and they don't play each other.
That's going to be in the Mountain. Yeah, that's going to be the Mountain West championship game. It's
12-0 versus 12-0.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and then one team, whoever wins, is going to make it to the Cotton Bowl and play USC.
Hey, what happened in the NFL though?
All right.
Yeah, what happened?
NFL.
Lots of shutouts.
This morning,
or not shutouts, blowouts.
I don't know if anybody watched the Toy Story broadcast this morning.
I actually did.
You did?
Because I had nothing to do this morning, so I just turned it on.
I didn't turn it on. I just kept track of it, just on ESPN, just looking to see who was winning. But the Falcons are just as overrated as I thought they were. 23-7 against the Jaguars. I don't think the Falcons are good. They just got very lucky their first 2 weeks.
Yeah, if Bijan wants to be remembered in history books or whatever, he's got win a Super Bowl. He's gonna need to get out of there soon. That's what I'm saying.
Desmond Ritter's not it. I don't think so. He's young.
Bijan's just so good. The numbers he keeps putting up is insane. But he's on, a trash team.
And I heard all this talk about Kyle Pitts doing good in London before the game. I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, he could get like he had the last time." He had a touchdown reception the last time they played overseas. And
Kyle Pitts is the most overrated player in the NFL.
Yeah, did you see the Falcons tight end something Smith caught
something for him?
Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith caught 6 receptions, 95 yards.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle Pitts. I don't know about y'all, but I play Madden a lot. That man is a superstar X factor. That is some bull.
That is.
Yeah, he was
so bad.
I totally forgot. He's a 4th overall pick in 2021. I didn't know he was that high.
He's a bust, bro.
He's a bust. He's getting to. Now he's only 22, but he's entering bust territory. If
they don't pass it at all because he can't. He literally all he does is block, and then he literally if they throw it to him, it's just like at the end of the game, like in the Panthers game, they threw it to him and he scored a touchdown. It was just
6'6", 246 for absolutely nothing. That's insane.
Yeah, and then I want to get to a what we thought would have been a better game, the Bills and Dolphins.
Oh my gosh!
You had, is it Devontae A-Chain or Deontay?
Devon A-Chain.
Devon A-Chain. If you had him on your fantasy team for the second week in a row, I don't know.
And Josh Allen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had Josh Allen on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I had Josh Allen, but the rest of my players decided to get hurt. So.
Yep, and the Bills just ran away with this one. This was the return of Damar Hamlin coming back from his cardiac arrest. Good for him.
I did see that. Yeah.
Good for him. I don't know if he actually played or if they sat.
He's gonna win comeback player of the year, and rightfully so. I mean, just by stepping off on the field after something like that.
Yeah. What I want to talk about briefly is how the frick do the Chicago Bears manage to lose?
Hey, we'll talk about that a lot later. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, we will. We definitely will.
But no, the memes galore from that game. I don't know what I did to my vocal cords, but my freaking hurt so bad yesterday's game at the Georgia game. Yeah,
it's
so understandable. So
and then the Browns, they lost 28-3, but I think you can kind of see why they lost because without Deshaun Watson.
Who was their starting quarterback?
Some dude with 3 names.
It was Dorian Thompson. They started Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Yeah, he threw 3.
Oh, no. Yeah, 3 picks, no tutties. That's terrible. Yeah.
He threw it to the wrong team in white.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And then, I don't know if we're talking about the Bengals, but, if anybody is.
Taylor, I know you're doing trash can today, and I honestly thought the Bengals could have been our first one to get a repeat on trash can, and it's only been 6 episodes. I mean, how bad? Are they going to make the playoffs or not?
No.
What do y'all think?
No. The Ravens are easily going to win the division.
I honestly feel bad for Jamar Chase.
Yeah, did you see after the game? They asked him like, is it harder for you to get open this year or whatever? And he was like, no, I'm open. I'm always. And then he said effing open, so
Yeah.
freaking open. So, but and he like looked like he was crying or whatever. Like, bro.
They said Bryce Young after the game was crying.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's tough when you're a good player, but you're surrounded by
the Panthers aren't
average players.
surrounded by bad players. It's just that they make bad decisions, and it leads to going
Yeah.
up. Leads to going 17. And
I don't know. So did Joe Burrow? Is he like the number one thief of 2023? Because
Yeah.
I mean, he literally stole all the Bengals' money, and then
and he also stole everybody's fantasy numbers by getting points.
How many touchdowns has he thrown? Because he didn't throw a touchdown this game either. That's like 3 games without a touchdown.
Threw one last game.
Yeah, he's thrown, but in 3 games this year, or excuse me, 4, he's thrown 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Terrible. Patrick Mahomes has done better. Well, I mean, of course but Patrick Mahomes is like
we say that as they're tied with the Jets.
Well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes has done a little better, but he's still like Patrick Mahomes kind of throwing a lot of interceptions too.
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of other blowouts in NFL.
What really impressed me today as well was Anthony Richardson able to come back and force OT. I know they lost, but Anthony Richardson, that's a young QB like that. That the Colts really, I'm glad the Colts got him.
We're not doing MMVP today, but he was almost on my list to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
there was just so many people that doubted him coming into the season, and I'll admit, I'll raise my hand.
I think
kind of
we all
one of those
did.
people.
No, I think we all did because we had that talk on the first episode about who would be the best quarterback out of all of them.
Yeah.
And right now, or like we said, it would be Richardson, and right now Richardson and Stroud are at the top. Right now, I think the worst one's Young out of all of them.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that Richardson's proved a lot of people wrong with what he's done, especially getting 2 wins. Well, did Minshew get a win? Has Minshew gotten a win for them?
Minshew won last game. Minshew started, and won last game. So, but no, I mean, I just think that it's because CJ Stroud, there was the thing with like his whatever it was, like the mental or the football IQ test or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, then that means Bryce Young should be picked ahead of him. And then there was the thing with Anthony Richardson, which let's be honest, he didn't play good stat wise at Florida. So then there was that they were like, oh, well, then Bryce should be ahead of him. And not to this isn't a diss Bryce Young segment, but I'm just saying like they have just outperformed all their haters right now.
Yeah, so I just think I'm a Panthers fan, and I just think the Panthers made the wrong move getting Bryce Young. I think we should have gotten CJ Stroud.
Oh, he's played 3 games.
I think we should have gotten CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud he's done amazing, especially today, or especially with beating the Steelers, who have one of the best defenses, honestly, in the NFL. Besides,
I'll admit what my ranking was coming into this year. I don't know. Maybe y'all said that y'all had Anthony Richardson doing really well on that first episode, but I had my rankings as CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and then Anthony Richardson. I had
the same thing. I might have had Young ahead of Stroud actually. I think I had Young, Stroud, and Richardson.
And Young can get it done. It's just
I just think the O-line, the next year in the draft, that's one thing the Panthers, as a Panthers fan, I think that's one thing we got to do. And sadly, I feel bad for Frank, for the head coach, because a lot of people, I was reading on Bleacher Report, a lot of people in the comments were saying fire Frank. I think the one that should be fired is probably the owner, David Tepper.
Yeah. I mean, it's his first year. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's why
I don't know.
I was like, this ridiculous to say to fire a guy after the first year because we can't keep moving coaches.
Yeah, and moving players. Like that's like we talked about it with like Matt Corral. Matt Corral wasn't obviously as highly touted as Bryce Young was.
Yeah,
but he was still like a quarterback that was expected to be like at least do something.
Well, the funny thing today also in that Bleacher Report thing, it was the Panthers message board. I saw a picture that showed someone made a mock draft of the Panthers draft in 2024, and they showed a picture of Quinn Ewers in the 2nd round and a 4th round pick. It basically showed the Panthers trading away all their draft picks and just getting Quinn Ewers in the 2nd round and a left tackle in the
Yeah, well, Quinn Ewers isn't dropping to the 2nd round. I'll go ahead and let you know that. But
no.
I feel like as an outside viewer that's not a Panthers fan, I feel like y'all should keep it steady with Bryce Young and stick with it, because
I do
first-year
feel like
quarterback.
there'll be a time. I mean, today he really showed flashes of what he can do, especially being going 25 for 32. Showed flashes of what he can do. But, you just got to learn how to hold on to the ball sometimes when you fumble it, because we could have won the game today. I know there's always next week and the week after, I'm sorry to say, but we're probably going to start 0-7. And we might even go worse than that.
And we don't even have a first-round draft pick next year.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. So I just don't.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, the Bears have our first-round pick.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why we only have 2 picks, I think, next year, which is just second round and fourth round.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another quarterback like that is playing really well that a lot of people didn't expect him to play super well, but Sam Howell, I watched bonus coverage from their game fight with the Eagles in overtime, and Howell threw a game-tying touchdown, but he was so clutch towards the end. They had a minute-long drive, drove 80 yards down the field and tied the game. Granted, they lost, but
did you see?
He's really impressed.
You should have seen the play at the end of the game, or not at the end of the game. Terry McLaurin, he caught a ball, and it's so sad because he had 1 foot in, and the Eagles defender got
shoved him out,
wrapped him up.
No, he had his arm on the ground, and McLaurin stepped on his arm instead of on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
shoot. I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, he stepped, the dude tackled him, and then his arm slipped all the way down to his foot, and then he stepped on his arm, on his wrist basically, and then his foot was his foot came down in bounds, but then also his the front of his toe was on the white, so it ended up being incomplete on 3rd and 7.
Wait, Reese.
Yeah.
Didn't something happen in the NBA though?
Yes. Or you mean W?
Oh yeah.
You mean WNBA?
I mean, there's both.
Oh yes. The NBA trade rumor.
Yes.
Trade rumors and trades as well. Big trades this week, especially between Damian Lillard gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. And, guys, I just want to hear y'all's takes on what y'all think about this trade. And do you think the Milwaukee Bucks are a obvious finals contender?
Oh, for sure.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be.
Have you seen their nickname for Giannis plus what's it called? Giannis plus Dame. That's their nickname for it.
Their starting lineup is going to be. Wait, did they get a shooting guard in the trade?
No, they didn't. They literally
going to be Dame, Malik Beasley, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez?
Yeah. Yeah. Now everybody else on the bench, everybody else is gone.
Oh yeah, it's like the Nets now. They have no bench at all.
The Nets and the Suns. Here's what I'll say is because I looked at this trade for a while. I actually got the notification while I was at work, and me and my boss like to talk about basketball a lot. That's his favorite sport, and I was grading the trade for each team, and if I had to rank it, I'd say Bucks obviously won the trade. I don't understand how they didn't give up. Now Drew Holiday, he's good. Yeah. But I think he's a little bit overrated in my opinion. That's coming from a Pelicans fan, which he was really good at the Pelicans. But the second best team, and I don't even think that much lower than the Bucks. I think the Blazers, especially with the Holiday trade that happened I think yesterday, late yesterday. But the Holiday trade to the Celtics, where they got Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon as well as 2 first-round picks. And then they got obviously 3 first-round picks, or 1 first-round pick and 2 pick swaps from the Bucks, as well as DeAndre Ayton. I mean, their team doesn't look horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, there's also a lot of young players.
Also, you got to remember the Trailblazers, though. The Trailblazers have a young. It's a very young.
I know that's.
And the Blazers got DeAndre Ayton from the Suns.
Yeah. Here was the trade that was made for Damian Lillard. So Damian Lillard got traded to Portland, and then
Bucks.
Yeah,
Bucks.
to the Bucks. My bad.
You're good.
Yeah, Portland received Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and I think it's Tumani Kamara.
A bag of chips, yeah.
And then Milwaukee's 2029 unprojected first-round draft pick and their unprojected 2028 and 2030 draft picks as well. And the Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nassar Little, and Keon Johnson as a part of the trade package as well, which are a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen's okay, and Nassar Little's okay, but Nurkic is past his prime, and
Yeah.
I've never heard of him before.
That's what I was saying. Like, because I mean, then you look at today's trade with the Celtics. The Celtics got Drew Holiday, and then the Blazers got back Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, 2024 first-round pick.
Yeah,
from the
but
Celtics.
also some news about that too. Robert
Yeah.
Williams today, after the trade, said that he does not want to play for the Trailblazers.
Well, I'm not surprised because he's center too. He's behind Ayton.
Yeah, he said he doesn't. He said he's not going to trade.
I mean, that brings up a debate. Do you put in Robert Williams or do you start
I think
like
100%.
DeAndre Ayton?
Well, also
I think
Ayton.
100% you start Ayton.
Also,
and
Ayton doesn't want to be there either. So I mean,
Robert
Well,
Williams
Ayton-
is younger
Ayton
than
doesn't
Ayton, and I think Robert Williams has more potential.
yeah, but
I mean,
Ayton doesn't. Ayton and Williams both don't want to be there.
it just seems like Ayton doesn't want to play anywhere because there was a long saga where you saying, "Oh, I want to get traded from the Suns," and then he gets traded to the Blazers, and like, "Oh, don't want to be at the Blazers." There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with those two players.
Honestly,
but then also there's rumors that they're looking to trade Malcolm Brogdon as well, and then I guess they'll try and trade Robert Williams or DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. So the trade for Drew Holiday was they sent the Trailblazers sent Drew Holiday to Boston.
Yeah.
And then it said the Celtics are sending center Robert Williams III and guard Malcolm Brogdon in the deal. And they announced, and it says a 2024 first-round pick via Golden State and a 2029 first-round pick is also headed to the Blazers. So this week I'm going to bring up the topic of WNBA again, and we have our finals matchup: the New York Liberty versus the Las Vegas Aces. I mean, we all saw this coming. But, going to be a great matchup. 2 p.m. on Sunday, October 8th is game 1. And, well anticipated. Game 1. A lot is at stake here for both of these teams. Both could win one could win a finals. And, especially with Las Vegas with one of the best records in WNBA history. And also, I think, like talked about last week, they've won I think they've won every playoff game they've played, and they've just ran through the playoffs. And New York and them faced off early in the season. I think it was close, but I think New York lost. New York might have won. I don't know, but no, that's all I have for weekend rundown.
All right, what do we got next, Taylor?
Blow the whistle, ref.
Huddle up, because it's time for Taylor's Team Huddle.
All right, huddle up, Missouri Tigers from Columbia, Missouri. I can't lie, I didn't buy into y'all's hype about them before the big Kansas State game. But after some watching and some research of this team, I think it's time to prove themselves and huddle up. I mean, look at their schedule coming up. They got such a huge opportunity. They got number 23 LSU at home, at number 20 Kentucky. Then they come back home against South Carolina. Then they got a rough stretch. They go on the road to Athens for the Georgia game, Tennessee, Florida, and Arkansas to end out the year. I mean, the way this year has gone, they could easily not just get top 3 in the East. They could, I mean, honestly, if they upset Georgia, they could win the East easily and play in Atlanta on December 2nd.
Where did they play Georgia at, though?
They play at Georgia.
Oof.
This is gonna be tough.
I'm huge on quarterback Brady Cook now. He's one of the most consistent and accurate quarterbacks in a while. I mean, he has a 74% completion rating, 11 touchdowns, and 0 picks. He's perfect. He has no interceptions at all. And he's only a junior, so he could easily lead this team for 1 or 2 more years of his eligibility. And just list a few weapons around him. I like the running back tandem of Cody Schroeder and Nathaniel Pest, who both have 2 touchdowns and more than 250 yards on the season, with Schroeder already having 463 yards. But they have a receiver I want to highlight real quick named Luther Burden III. Mm-hmm. He is definitely the favorite target with 43 receptions, 644 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And his average is 15 yards a catch. And he recently torched Vanderbilt for 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, it makes sense because he was a 5-star and the number 14th ranked recruit in the 2022 class. So he's definitely living up to that hype. Also, their defense is very elite, but I want to say this. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. We saw it against Vanderbilt. We've seen it all of their games. Blown coverage, just penalties. I mean, it's just little mistakes for this they're very young. They're a very young defense. I mean, they got potential, but they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, if you have a struggle against Vanderbilt, I mean, something's wrong. But, I said they're young. They could easily improve on their mistakes and finish with their best record in a very long time. I can't remember a time that Missouri was good. Reese was saying that they're back, but I don't think they've ever been here. But I know Max loves the hype around Missouri, but what are y'all's thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, we're going to definitely see, they're definitely going to have to prove it these next 2 weeks because you got at home against LSU, which, granted, LSU is definitely not the team that we all thought they were coming into the season with the loss to Ole Miss. But then they got on the road at Kentucky, which is actually a way better team than a lot of people thought than a lot of people projected going into the season. So, I mean, yeah, they'll definitely prove it over these next 2 weeks, and we'll see.
Yeah, no, I think Missouri. I think Missouri is actually good. I think they play. Wait, does LSU have a bye week next week, or did they play Missouri next week?
No, they play Missouri next week.
Okay, no, I know it's at Missouri, but no, I think that would be a great game. And Missouri possibly could. I wouldn't say upset because I think Missouri's a lot better than LSU is. LSU's got a lot of problems with the corner. With the quarterback situation.
Bro, Reese, why do you always play these things during your talking time?
I don't play mine. What? But, I think Missouri's good. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. No, Missouri. Yeah, but no, Missouri definitely in a SEC East that's wide open right now. Missouri could definitely easily take over, and this is definitely the year because I mean, they're a young team, and yeah, we'll just see if they're able to pull it off. But
well, the huddle's over. We're getting back to the game. Max, take him away with your segment right now.
Yeah, so today we got Max's main matchup. Go ahead and roll that intro for me.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Max's main matchup.
We've done MVP the last couple of weeks, and
I didn't know that one.
We've usually focused on football, on MMVP and main matchup, and fair enough because I mean there hasn't been a lot of other sports going on, but starting on Tuesday,
I'm gonna break my monitor. I swear.
Reese, stop playing stuff.
Hey, that's you.
No, it's not.
It's you.
Max, I'm sorry for Reese. I don't know why we have him on the show, but it's okay.
But anyways,
we love you.
Starting Tuesday, October 3rd at 2 p.m. on ABC, the AL wild card as well as the MLB playoffs as a whole start, and it starts off with what I think is going to be the best series in the wild card. The Texas Rangers, who are 90 and 72 to end the year, they're going away against the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 99 and 63 overall. Right now, the betting odds are in favor of Tampa Bay, who's minus 140.
Reese, please stop, bro.
You.
And but the Rangers, let's just go ahead and talk about them real quick. They've won 3 of their last 4 series to end the season with a 2-1 series win over the Red Sox as well as the Angels, as well as a sweep against the Mariners, although they just lost to them 3 out of 4 games to finish off the season. Some players to watch for the Texas Rangers are starting shortstop Corey Seager, who finished 5th in the league in batting average at .327, and as well as finished 2nd in OPS with 1.013, as well as starting second baseman Marcus Semien, who he finished 4th in the league with hits with 185 hits on the season, and he's also the only player on the Rangers team to play in all 162 games this season. And then on the Tampa Bay Rays side, they've also won 3 of their last 4 series with a sweep over the Red Sox as well. And they've also won 2-1 series over the Angels and the Blue Jays. And some players to watch on this very good Tampa Bay Rays team are first baseman Yandy Diaz, who finished 4th in the league in batting average, one spot ahead of Corey Seager.
Yandy.
Yandy Diaz.
You're
excuse
good.
me.
You're good.
But he finished with a batting average of .330, and as well as he's on a hot streak hitting right now. He has gotten a hit in 7 of his last 9 at bats with a double, 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs. And then the other player, the last player to look out for, is their starting pitcher and their ace, Zach Eflin. Now, I know they're most likely going to start Tyler Glass now for game 1, and they're going to save their ace, Eflin, for game 2. But to put in perspective how dominant that Zach Eflin has been, he finished the season tied for 3rd in wins with 16, and he's also 2nd in the league in walks plus hits per inning, allowing 1.02 walks plus hits per inning. This is going to be a great game. What do y'all guys think are going to be y'all's takes for this game on Tuesday? Big game to start off the AL wild card.
For the Rays, there's one player that you didn't want to talk about that I want to highlight is Randy Arozarena. He's amazing. He has 23 home runs, 83 RBIs. Yandy Diaz does have the batting average over him, but I mean Randy Arozarena is also good. And then Isaac Paradis at third base. Honestly, this Rays team is so good. I mean, of course you got Wander Franco as well, which not 14. If you know, you know. But past that, I like the Rays. I think the Rangers have always been a little overrated.
14's great.
They were my trash can on episode 2, and then I talked about the Mariners, which didn't end very well. My team huddle did not end very well, but Rangers barely sneaked into the playoffs, and they actually didn't win their division. The Astros actually won their division. So
I forgot.
I don't like the Rangers. I like the Rays. Go Rays. That's all I'm going to say for now. I know we'll get to more into it for prize picks, but I like the Rays a lot.
Taylor, did the Rangers lose like their last 4 games or 3?
They lost. So the Rangers lost 3 out of their last 4, but they still made it over the Mariners. Because the Mariners choked against the Astros.
Maybe they suck. Like they're actually.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
I actually wanted them to make the playoffs, but freaking Julio Rodriguez over here, can't hit. And then, okay, so yeah, I think that the Rays. I watched them play the Braves in that series, and that was a great series when they played the Braves. And I just watched them play the Blue Jays earlier. And the Rays, I think going in this game in Tampa Bay, I think Tampa Bay's fans don't show up for anything. But also, I do think that with the pitching that Tampa Bay has, I really think Tampa Bay will either sweep or win 2 out of, or they'll win they'll go 3 games and win 2-1.
I mean, talking on a different point in MLB, the AL East and the NL East, it's crazy. They had 3 different teams. They had 3 teams. Both divisions had 3 teams make the playoffs. I mean, it's the Orioles, Rays, Blue Jays, Braves, Phillies, and Marlins. And all of those teams, the pitching is absolutely insane. There's weapons all around the pitch, I mean, it's just insane. It's going to be a great playoffs. Great playoffs.
Speaking of the Braves, the only thing I'm worried about the Braves is the bullpen pitching. I know the bullpen pitching, though, kind of you don't really have to worry because I know the last few games, you're kind of in the later part of the season and you kind of aren't trying against some of these weaker teams. And the Braves are actually doing something that most MLB teams, probably none of these MLB teams will do that have buys. The Braves are playing starting tomorrow. They'll get a day off. And on October 3rd, the day of the wild card games, the Braves will be playing simulated games and letting the crowd come into the stadium. And that gives the Braves an advantage, especially with the crowd noise. And you're playing simulated games with your starting pitchers and all your good players. So if the Braves are able to, when whoever the Braves play, the Braves will be just as ready as that other team is.
Hey, a team to watch out for this year is the Twins. That's all I'm going to say. I like the Twins. I like what they're doing in Minnesota right now.
Yeah, but the Twins division, though, is easy.
Hey, they still would have made the playoffs if they were in any other division. So
True.
That is a fair point.
Max Kepler and Carlos Correa are the best duo on the MLB right now. Hottest
Yeah.
team right now, the Twins.
I haven't seen Max Mesman play baseball yet, so.
Okay. But all I'll say is
Home run!
this is gonna be a great series.
Wonder
I'm looking forward to it.
about it.
The Rangers have their team of they made a lot of moves during the season. Their team of kind of controversy because Taylor, he had him in the trash can earlier in the season, and they've proved him. I wouldn't say they totally proved him wrong yet, but they made the playoffs, and we'll see if they can prove him wrong against the Rays, who are favored. And honestly, looking at it right now, they are the better team. But we'll see more in Prize Picks later. And now, Reese, why don't you drive us to a new location with Reese's Road Ahead?
Yes, sir. Get into it.
What's that? This is the road ahead.
All right, college football. Week 6. Auburn's not playing this week, so kind of a bummer. But
Not really.
kind of a much needed.
I don't want to watch another massacre.
Yeah.
A massacre. We lost. We lost by 7.
Yeah. I'm tired of watching Peyton Thorne, though, not pass the ball.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
He
He didn't pass the ball well. He ran
Reese,
the
this
ball
entire
well.
week you were calling Peyton Thorne trash.
Exactly.
He actually did good this game.
Last
Did he
week on the
did he
episode, I quote you, in Trash Can, you said, it should probably be Peyton Thorne.
I mean,
I can second
You're
that. But
glazing
also,
everybody right now. Me, Max, Peyton Thorne, Robbie Ashford, everyone.
Reese, literally, you didn't even hear what I said. I said, I wish he would throw the ball better. Did he throw the ball well?
No.
Well, exactly. He might have ran for 61 yards.
He had 86 yards passing.
Exactly. He had 82.
All right.
Bro. All right, Reese, drive us.
Don't have a receiver that can catch.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways,
Fairweather, hello.
Oklahoma and Texas are playing this weekend. It should be a good game.
Huge game.
Yeah, huge game. Game day, which we all obviously knew that was going to be a good game. And then real quick, I want to get y'all's thoughts on Maryland and Ohio State.
I mean, I feel like Maryland is
Ohio
a
State's
little
gonna
bit.
win by a lot.
I mean, I feel like Ohio State's definitely going to win this game.
Wait, is Tagovailoa still at Maryland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tualia?
Yeah. Something like that.
Hey,
Something
Max
like
didn't
that.
know how to say Tagovailoa. He said Tagovailoa.
He was right. Yeah, I thought it was Tagovailoa. It's what is it?
Tongue.
What is it, Taylor? It's
Tongue.
Tong. Yeah, Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
But no, I feel like Maryland. They're definitely going to come into this game. This is a game that they've obviously circled on their calendar. Like, this is how you make it like in the Big Ten. You beat teams like Ohio State and Michigan. Because it's really just been Ohio State, Michigan going to the Big Ten championship the last whatever it is years. But I don't think Maryland's
no,
going
it's
to.
not. It's always Penn State.
Penn State.
When's the last time Penn State's made the Big Ten championship?
Last year.
They literally.
Buddy,
Okay.
I don't know what
Michigan made the.
what Big Ten championship were you watching?
Bro's in an alternate dimension. But anyways, all I'm saying is Maryland definitely feels a little bit disrespected by the AP poll, by a lot of people. They're 5-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten, and I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. Definitely a lot of fireworks, but I'm going to say Ohio State's going to win this one. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then also this weekend, Alabama plays at Texas A&M. That should be a good game.
Yeah.
Alabama's going to win by a lot. Texas A&M sucks.
And we'll see in Prize Picks. We'll see if you keep that energy in Prize Picks.
And then
Roll Tide.
Kentucky and Georgia might be a decent game. I don't know. It's at
Go
Georgia.
Dogs.
We'll see if Devin Leary can get it figured out. If he can return back to how he was at NC State, then they have a chance. But I don't.
Hey,
know.
this Saturday's
see
going
in
to be
Prize
fun at
Picks.
our watch party, brother. So that's all I'm
Right?
going to say.
Freaking Jets just
Yeah.
lost.
No, they didn't,
actually?
Reese. They just fumbled.
And then
Still
we're
7 minutes.
Reese, you overreact so fast. It's hilarious.
Zach Wilson's career is over.
Yep.
Like
I'm
listeners,
Reese.
when I tell you that he texted us in the group chat saying, "Oh, the Panthers just lost." It was 8 minutes to go, and the Vikings had the ball in their own 25, and it was 8 minutes to go, and the Panthers are down by 8.
Who
So
lost though?
They still lost, but you said that with 8 minutes to go.
Reese, after the Texas A&M game, you said Auburn was going to go 0 and lose the rest of our games.
Yeah.
And we kind
You
of
switch up really quickly, Reese, but it's fine. We still love you.
yes, I do switch up quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one last game for college football though. Notre Dame and Louisville. I think it'll be a good game. I know a lot.
I do too.
Taylor does so because Notre Dame. He loves Notre Dame and
I do love Notre Dame because Notre Dame is good and they're going to win by a lot.
He probably
Hey,
thinks,
we'll see if you keep that energy in Prize Picks. I'm
he probably
excited.
thinks Sam Hartman's hot, for real.
I mean, he kind of no.
What?
Hey, cut it out, editor.
But no. Now I'm gonna go to NFL Week 5. I got some games I want to talk about just briefly. I want to talk about Texans and Falcons. This could be a good game. Taylor, it's in Atlanta. I know you don't like
Reese, you picked the most non-existent games of all time. You talked about Louisville and Georgia Tech. You talked about Kansas and BYU. Look where that got you.
No, what?
No, Max.
Nothing can beat whenever you said Murray State and Louisville.
Exactly. This man glazes Louisville. It's like saying, the Bears versus the
Reese,
Commanders is a pretty good game because the Commanders
Reese,
are on the favorite spot.
how good of a game is Bengals Cardinals going to be? Is that a must watch,
buddy? This game is
well,
the Bengals are gonna win.
I think the Saints at the Patriots is a really good game. I just think that will be a number cruncher right there.
Patriots 1-3 Super Bowl run starts here.
No, the Texans Falcons. Those actually both teams are 2-2.
Yeah, but you just said the Falcons are trash.
Yes, because they lost this week.
Okay. So Reese, why is this game going to be? Why is this game going to be good? Because it's not on.
Well, I think the Panthers at the Lions will be a very close game.
Rice throw 5 interceptions.
Okay, but why do you think Texans and Falcons?
I think Texans and Falcons will be a good game because I think CJ Stroud will do what he's been doing so far this whole season, and I
they'll win by a lot.
No, and I think Desmond Ridder will. This week he did terrible, but I think he'll come back and show a little bit of flashes of. The Texans don't really have that good. Their defense is okay, but it's not the best defense, and I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Texans might pull it out and win.
Yeah, no, I feel like
the defense literally is good.
There's no good games. Okay, never mind.
There's one good game, and that's the only one that we have on the Prize Pick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick that game then because I already know which one it is. That's basically it because I don't want to say anything about the wild card because that's what we're doing.
Well, actually,
I think the Jets versus the Broncos will be a very good game.
The Jets versus Broncos is actually outrageous.
All right, anything else?
Both teams will be.
Are we at a destination?
Murray State at Louisville seems like a pretty interesting game to me.
What does that laugh? Max, what does that laugh?
Nothing. I was typing A's on the keyboard, my bad. But anyway, is that the end of the road ahead, Reese?
Basically,
are we at our destination?
I don't want to talk about any of the wild card games because we're picking it in Prize Picks, and also we're picking the NFL games slate is so bad that you can't even.
That's how Max laughs.
Thanks, Taylor.
All right, my segment. Reese, you're done.
Okay, blood.
Straight from the garbage disposal, this is Taylor's Trash Can.
All right, so, the trash, what's it called? The trash truck, the trash City of Auburn Trash Company. Yeah, the garbage truck, the garbage disposal is ready to be taken out. It's ready to be inserted into the dump and burned and probably put into the horrendous air that we breathe. But other than that, all right, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, I am so sorry, but I'm not because y'all suck. Chicago, beautiful, personally been. Stadium is amazing, super nice, super historic. Patrick Mahomes is also a fraud, just so y'all know. But, man, the Chicago Bears are awful this year. I don't know about y'all, but I thought this would be a very decent year for them after seeing flashes last year. And with the addition of DJ Moore, I thought their offense would be somewhat decent and Justin Fields would have a breakout year. But their coach, Matt Eberflus, I think is his name, is an absolute joke and is trying to get himself fired. And I'll tell y'all why. First off,
It's called holding on defense. No way.
Taylor's about to explode at you, Reese. I'm not gonna lie. All right, Taylor, you can
Just
continue.
keep going.
First off, they blew a 28-7 lead in the second half to the Broncos. And
Yeah.
there was
Yeah, that's
one instance where I saw this man, his job flashed right before his eyes. He went for a 4th and 1 with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left in the game, and they were in field goal range with the game tied. With the game tied, they had a 37-yard field goal, and they didn't take it. They could have taken the lead with 2 minutes left. I don't know what's going on in Chicago right now. They're 0-4. Justin Fields has 3 touchdowns and 4 picks and a completion rating of 58. Khalil Herbert and Rashawn Johnson only have 90 yards rushing in 4 games. That's horrendous. The only receiver that deserves to be named is DJ Moore, and he probably wants to leave, probably wants to get traded after he just got traded there. And this team is just flat out awful. The defense is awful. They give up way too many points. And right now, as we're recording, they're on pace for the number 1, but also the number 2 pick from the Panthers.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams needs to start looking at apartments in Chicago. There's plenty of nice ones. I recommend the Trump Hotel. It's right in downtown Chicago. But at this point, the Bears will just forfeit, give up in the middle of the season. And I mean, looking at their schedule, it doesn't get any easier. They got big games against Washington next week. They got Detroit twice. They got Green Bay, the Vikings, the Chargers. I mean, it's just over for them. I mean, Bears fans, I know y'all are already owned by Aaron Rodgers, but I own y'all too. Y'all just suck. Y'all need to find a new team and relocate. Maybe move out of Chicago, get out of the crime-ridden city. But no shots to Chicago. Don't come after me. We have fans in Chicago. But
At least y'all are getting a new stadium. You know?
they have no weapons. They might as well just go 0-17, just tank completely for Caleb Williams at this point. And, you know, Travis Kelce jersey sales went up 400%. Caleb Williams' sales might go up 500% because they're automatically drafting him. They might even trade for the number 1 pick at this point if they don't get it. But Justin Fields is over. His career's over. He's probably going to try to get traded. But fire the coach. I don't understand why y'all don't fire him. He is 3-18 in his life, like with the Bears. He's 3-18.
Oh my gosh.
Throw them away. They're gross. They smell bad. They're awful. They're poverty, homeless on the streets, poverty, no food, no good water. Go back to the streets, Chicago Bears. Y'all suck. Chicago Bears fans are also very mean, so also don't come at me if we have Chicago Bears fans. But what do y'all think about this absolute poverty of a franchise? The coach, Justin Fields, Justin McFraud. Like, what do y'all think?
First, I think the Bears fans, that's going to be very hard to find after they all go into hiding from not wanting to be a Bears fan anymore, especially after today. I think Justin Fields needs to get out of there and find a new team. And I think that Chicago's a waste of an NFL team. Just sell the team, sell the whole franchise, and delete that off of your Madden server and, have 31 teams instead of 32. Maybe add a team in Spain or something. Maybe they'll get more revenue in Spain.
No, we need a team in London. That would actually be fine.
That's not a terrible.
Like Max Messman said, time to learn Chinese, buddy. That's to the
bro. The NFL
Bears
market
owner.
in London is crazy. I don't know if y'all watched it, but the market is crazy in
Yeah,
London.
no, it's
They
huge.
want NFL football in London.
Like
what else I don't understand about the London games is the Jaguars are playing again in London.
Yeah, I
they-
know.
2
Well,
weeks.
the Jaguars fan base is like huge there, is what they were talking about, at least during the Falcons-Jaguars game.
I had no idea I had no idea the Jaguars were because like even here the Jaguars are definitely not one of the biggest teams. I mean you got the
100%.
Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, like with the biggest fan bases. Probably the Falcons are up there.
Yeah.
Like it's just surprising that the Jaguars are all the way in London because they're not even here. But
Yeah, but no.
Like my friend Max Messman said, time to learn Chinese, buddy. This is to the Bears owner. Y'all are going to have to make a team in China because nobody wants you in America, so leave.
Yeah,
Dang.
this is what I'll say about the Bears. I mean, to put to perspective, listeners, how like bad of a just absolute throwaway of a game this was. I mean, they were up 28-7 going into the fourth quarter. Like it was started the fourth quarter, they're up 28-7. On ESPN, they had a 99.8% chance to win on going into the fourth quarter. And then also not even that, but Taylor texted our group chat. Which, Taylor, I understood you had kind of a busy day today, so you weren't able to keep up with all of the games, and this was a trash game, so I wouldn't even have kept up with it either. But you texted us saying, didn't the Bears win? They were up by so much. And
Yeah.
no, the Bears lost. They threw away the game, throw away the team as well. Justin Fields, if you want to save your career, like we all said, you need to find another team. Otherwise, just start learning auto sales or something like that. I don't know what he's into. But, Matt
auto
Eberflus-
sales is crazy.
Matt Eberflus is a terrible coach. And, I mean, if it weren't for the Bears having such a cupcake schedule coming up, I would say they could possibly go 0-17, just straight up. Not even, like, trying to tank, but just because they can't beat a team. But, I mean, they got winnable games at home against the Cardinals and at home against the Panthers and stuff like that. At home against the Raiders as well. So, I mean,
I don't know because the Panthers' defense is like actually very good. So.
Okay, Reese, you don't need to keep hating on your own team, but no.
No, I said they're good. I said the defense is good.
Okay, that was a surprise.
The Bears can. I mean, the Bears might go ahead against us, and then we'll probably come back and win the game on them like they did against the Broncos.
Yeah. All I'll say is we were talking about this beforehand, and I remember, Reese, you talking about how the fans were chanting Caleb Williams in the stands when the game was still like kind of close towards the end. But I don't know. Yeah, I think honestly, it's a legitimate it's not even a conspiracy, but it's a legitimate concern to think that the Bears are legitimately tanking for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams team up in Chicago. So I don't know. The Bears, honestly, sell the franchise. And like Taylor said, throw them in the trash. They're disgusting. They're garbage. And
to help the Chicago Bears, go to www.helpchicagobears.com. There's also a GoFundMe out for Justin Fields. Got to give this man some money to go to a different team. He's got to find a taxi somehow. So let's just Chicago and, hopefully he does.
Hey, but they're thrown away. They're in the trash can. In my room, I actually have a basketball trash can, so I'm going to ball them up. Throw them in the trash can, three-pointer Steph Curry. Let's go to the next segment, Max.
Woo!
Yes, and now we got the Prize Picks.
Not sponsored by the app Prize Picks. It's time for Max's Prize Picks.
Now, this past weekend was not good for me at all. When we talk about the standings, I don't even want to say my record, and I want y'all to guess how badly I did this weekend.
3-7.
Okay, what do you think, Reese?
I'm gonna say maybe 2-8.
So Reese is correct. I went 2-8 this weekend,
Oh
and I'll own up to it when I do terrible.
Hey, I'm not. I think Reese did better than me.
No, Reese didn't do better than you.
I got 4. I think I got.
Taylor went 6-4, so still heavily in the lead.
They want to keep doubting me. They want to keep doubting me. They want to keep looking out, and I keep coming up. Mike Tyson, give me the belt. Let's freaking go. Y'all were roasting my segments. Y'all were roasting everything I was talking about. And I'm come to play.
Dang, bro really made it up. But anyways.
Bro made an edit.
Reese finished 4-6. So, I mean, it's still better than me. I finished 2-8. Taylor's running away with it.
They doubted me. I beat somebody.
Taylor's running away with it. He's 34-16. And then me and Reese are neck and neck for last place. 26-24 is my record. Reese is 25-25, so I don't know why you're laughing, buddy. So,
I hit 500.
Yeah, so he's finally at 500. But
I was actually 2 games above 500 last week.
So you got worse. There you go. But anyways, let's go ahead and move in to this week's slate. Now it's a bit of a switch up. I know. We've always done football. This entire podcast, we've done football because let's be honest, it's the main sport that's been going on, the only sport that's been going on. But now we got MLB playoffs. We're gonna pick those towards the end because that's the biggest thing going on this week. But we're gonna go and start off with some college football. And this is a game where if you're ever going to pick an upset to try and switch things up, in this Prize Picks race, this is the game to do it. Number 20, Kentucky at number 1, Georgia. The line currently right now is Georgia.
I thought we were doing baseball.
The over-under is 48. We're doing baseball at the end. We're doing the baseball at the end. Save the best for last.
God, dang
but over-under
Let my
is 48.
ESPN load.
Over-under is 48.5. So I'm going to go with Georgia to win this game, even though, it was close against Auburn. They had a little bit of a scare, but Brock Bowers is him. I mean, I saw some stuff saying like he might become like the first tight end in a while to win the Heisman. I know that's a stretch right now, but I mean, he absolutely owned the Auburn Tigers towards the end of the game, and I think he'll own the Kentucky Wildcats because while Florida did lose, Graham Mertz towards the middle third quarter, towards the end of the game, he did start being able to throw some easy passes to that Kentucky secondary. Now, Kentucky, their defense as a whole is good, but it's mainly their D-line and their linebackers. Their secondary is actually pretty weak, but we'll see how they handle against Georgia. I'm not going to say Georgia covers the 15-point spread. If it was below 2 touchdowns, I would say they cover, but I got Georgia winning this one. Give me them. I don't think it's going to be insanely high scoring because I don't think Georgia's offense is as dominant as it's been in previous years. So I'm going to go Georgia 27-13 over the Wildcats at home. Go Dogs, bark, bark, bark. I'm not going to actually do a bark because those Georgia fans, I just hate them. So, yeah, give me the Bulldogs at home against the Wildcats.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Max here. But actually, like this weekend, I sat in front and behind a Georgia fan. It was so annoying. They kept like I left like once there was 1 minute left and Auburn had like they missed that 4th down. I left because I didn't want to hear their stupid Georgia chant. Freaking their team's so lucky to win a game. But no, I do think this game will be close. It's at Sanford Stadium. That's the only reason they'll actually win this game because they don't actually deserve to win half the games on their schedule. But I think Georgia is overrated, but I do think they'll beat Kentucky because I also think Kentucky just played a terrible Florida team. I think Georgia wins this game 17-6. I say Kentucky gets 2 field goals, and that's it.
Taylor?
Oh, shoot, my bad.
You good.
Blood is asleep.
All right. Nah, I can't do it. I can't. I like my record the way it is.
You're about to go Kentucky.
I want to pick Kentucky and Devin
Please
Leary.
do.
I
Please
really want
chance.
to.
Just give us a chance.
Nope. I really want to. Ray Davis is really good, but Georgia's better. Carson Beck is actually a fraud, but Georgia's defense is just so good. I don't think – I mean, Kentucky probably won't have half of the success they had against Florida. Brock Bowers, big body boy. Yeah, he's going to get it done. I mean, he already has 413 yards on the season. Give me another 100 in this game. I got to go with the Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs. Bark, bark, bark.
And now we'll move to Notre Dame at Louisville. Maybe we'll, split up on our picks for this one because we all picked Georgia last one. Maybe some of us will pick Louisville. Some of us will pick Notre Dame. This should be a good one. I remember texting y'all actually after Notre Dame beat Duke, and then Louisville became the first team to go 5-0 on Friday night after beating NC State. I said this is going to be a good one next week, and I do think it will be. It's at Louisville, and the line is still Notre Dame to be favored. They're favored -6.5, and the over-under is 52.5 for this game. This Louisville team, I like them. I've always liked Jeff Brom as a coach. Him at Purdue, I mean, they constantly had like 8-4, 8-4, 7-5 seasons, especially when they didn't have great teams. Let's just be honest. But they always were known for getting like the big upsets. Like I remember they beat Ohio State not once, but like twice whenever they were ranked in the top 4. That was like the most famous thing that they did at Purdue. But this is also this would also be one of those huge upsets. And I feel like they're going to get it. I feel like Louisville at home, I feel like their offense is insane. Jamari Thrash, their receiver, 444 yards, 5 touchdowns in 5 games is really good. Their running back as well. I don't even know his first name, but I'm just looking at his stats in real time. Jawar, I'm definitely saying this wrong, but Jawar Jordan, he's 510 yards, 6 touchdowns in 5 games. And then their QB, Jack Plummer, with 11 touchdowns. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win this one. Upset.
Max, this is why your record is so bad.
And Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, there's only the only way that I'm gonna climb back in this race is if I pick some upsets, or else we're just gonna be both big in the same game. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals to get the upset at home. High scoring game, super high scoring game. I'm gonna go Louisville wins this one 37-34 over the Irish. Give me the Cardinals with a game-winning field goal in Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think that Louisville is overrated. They deserve to be where they are right now at 25th. but they've played nobody on their schedule. I mean, NC State's all right, but, they really haven't played anybody of significance. And I think Notre Dame, their schedule shows it all, especially beating Duke at Duke, which was a great game, by the way. And then a heartbreaking loss to Ohio State. I just see Notre Dame winning this one. I'm gonna say Notre Dame wins by 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna say it's close for a little bit, but then Notre Dame pulls away at the end. So Notre Dame wins 28-14 in Louisville, and sends the Louisville home crowd home unhappy.
I'm going to have to agree with Reese for once here. I think Notre Dame is just too good. I mean, they literally lost on the last play to Ohio State. They almost beat a top 5 Ohio State. Notre Dame's legit. They just beat Duke. And like Reese said, Louisville hasn't played anybody. They played Murray State, Georgia. They barely beat Georgia Tech, barely beat Indiana, and barely beat NC State. And if you have Plummer as your last name as a quarterback, you know you're doo-doo. So Sam Hartman continues his hot start with 14 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I got to go Sam Hartman on this one. He's just too good. And I mean, he's going to go perfect on this game. I mean, give me Sam Hartman. I mean, 250 plus yards, probably 2 touchdowns. I got to go with the Irish. And I think they easily cover. I think they actually win by 20 and show the whole world that Ohio State loss doesn't define their season. They can still make a push for the playoff.
I still think they can. Honestly,
Hey, Notre Dame plays USC next week. By the way,
that's
the
game.
only reason Notre Dame could lose this game to Louisville is if they're already looking to USC.
Yeah,
that's the only way I can see Louisville winning. But Louisville's a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I just got to go Notre Dame on this one. Sorry, Max.
Yeah, I'm just going off a hunch, and I'm also trying to gain back some points after that abysmal weekend that I had this past weekend. But next we got Taylor's team huddle team, the Missouri Tigers, hosting the LSU Tigers. They're actually ranked higher than LSU for the first time, I think, in school history. I mean, it's just insane, what Missouri's doing. It has done this year so far under Eli Drinkwitz. They're at home in Columbia, Missouri, where notably 2 weeks ago they upset Kansas State, who's ranked 16 at the time. The Tigers of LSU are actually favored in this game, not the Tigers of Missouri. -6.5 is the line favoring LSU, and the over-under is 62.5. So Vegas thinks that this game is going to be super high scoring, and I don't disagree. And like Taylor said, I bought into this Missouri hype, and he's right. I'm going to continue rolling with the Missouri Tigers. They won me $10 because I had a bet with a friend and in the Kansas State game, and they won me $10, and I got to ride with them in this game as well. I think LSU, they're not as good as a lot of people are saying early on in the season, especially after that Florida State loss and then now that Ole Miss loss. So I'm going to go with the Tigers at home. Give me Brady Cook to cook in this game. And I'm going to go with Missouri winning a high-scoring affair. Give me them 31-27 in this one. So it's not going to cover the over-under, but I'm going to say Missouri wins by 4 points in Missouri.
Yeah, the last time I didn't go with Missouri when we picked the Kansas State-Missouri game, I did not pick Missouri. I think something's got to change here. I think I'm going to go with Missouri. Missouri's home atmosphere is insane. And, LSU, like I was saying earlier, LSU has had a lot of trouble in the cornerback situation there. And I think the cornerbacks are not good, and I don't think their defense is good. Giving up 55 points to Ole Miss is not good, and I think that this game will be a high-scoring game. I say Missouri wins this game 42-38 in Columbia. I say it's going to be a very high-scoring game. No defense at all, just old-fashioned offensive shootout, and I like the Missouri Tigers in this one.
All right. Y'all are going to call me a fraud, but
no.
I got to
switching up.
I got to go with the LSU Tigers, man.
Oh, wow.
I can see why.
I know. So I picked Missouri for my team huddle because I think it's time for them to huddle up and prove themselves. LSU's offense is just so good. Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's amazing. I could glaze him all day, but they have a receiver, Malik Neighbors. He's so good. He's actually from Louisiana, hometown. I mean, LSU is averaging 551 yards on offense. I know they allow 429 yards on defense, but like y'all said, this is going to be a shootout, and LSU can just outlast Missouri. Missouri's not there yet, but they will be there in these coming years with their insane recruiting classes. I got to go with the LSU Tigers. As Ed Orgeron would say, go Tigers.
I don't disagree with Taylor. I think that's a good pick because I almost had to go with LSU, but LSU. The only reason I didn't go with them is just because their cornerback room's not that good. But I can see why he went with LSU because Missouri doesn't have a good defense either. But the recruiting class definitely shows
I
it.
mean, also Missouri barely beat Memphis,
Yeah.
barely beat Middle Tennessee State.
They didn't look
And
that.
they struggled against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they didn't look that good against Vanderbilt at all because I think it was like 35 to 21 at one point, and Vanderbilt was about to score and make it 35 to 28.
I mean, I got to be honest. LSU has shot themselves in the foot with how hard their schedule was these beginning 5 games.
Yeah.
Well, we know obviously now LSU is not going to make the college football playoff, but
They can still win the West, in my
do y'all
opinion.
think-
They can easily still win the West.
Ooh.
I think
Okay.
because we saw in 2017, Auburn was 10-2 and went to the SEC championship.
Rank number
And if
3.
we won, we would have made the playoffs.
And yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm saying, do y'all think LSU has a shot to do that? And
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
No, I
Yes.
don't know because
Because
there's
of
too
how
many
hard
good
their
teams.
schedule is.
Yeah, but also you got to look at
LSU's not going to beat Bama. That's all I'm going to say. LSU's not going to beat Bama.
If they beat, that's a fair point. I don't think they'll beat Bama either.
If they
but
beat Bama
do,
easily. If they beat Bama easily.
yeah.
But will they make the playoff? No.
no. There's too many good teams for them to make the playoff.
That's a fair point too.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
go
you
Tigers.
talk about-
Go LSU. Let's go.
You talk about who's going to win the SEC West. This next game will do a lot in deciding that. At least early on in the season, we got number 11 Alabama, who's 4-1 and 2-0 in the SEC right now, going to Kyle Field. Texas A&M 4-1 and 2-0 in the SEC as well. Going into this game, Alabama is favored, but only by 3.5 points. Going into the Kyle Field, the 12th man. Auburn, obviously we saw they experienced the 12th man in its full force, and it didn't go well.
Texas A&M actually had 12 men on the field.
Yeah. So, I mean, the over-under right now is 50 points. So, I mean, they think that this game is going to be a little bit of a shootout, not completely. I'm going to go – let's see. I'm trying to gain back a lot of picks, and this could really put me over the edge. But I'm going to go with A&M to win this one at home. I feel like Alabama, Jalen Milroe, he's very up and down, because we saw against Mississippi State. He looked decent, looked way better than he did against Texas, But and then Middle Tennessee, he also looked really good. But then Ole Miss, he also looked decent as well. So I'm going to go with this game. He's going to have another down game against this A&M defense and this A&M crowd. I feel like A&M, they're ready under what's his name, Bobby Petrino,
Jimbo Fisher?
And
No,
Jimbo
Bobby
Fisher, and Jimbo Fisher as well. I feel like they're some great offensive minds over there, and they're going to cook something up. Max Johnson has looked amazing coming in for Connor Weigman. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M with another upset. I know this could get me to 0-10 at this point, but I'm going to go with A&M, the Aggies, to upset the Crimson Tide. Give me them 24. I'm going to go 24-17. I say they win by a touchdown. Over the Crimson Tide at home. Go Aggies.
I'm actually gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with Matt here. I just don't. You play Ole Miss at Alabama, that gives you an advantage. I know Texas beat Alabama at Alabama, but I think that was just a fluke. That Alabama lost there. And then I also think Mississippi State's probably either them or them. I don't know if Auburn would finish last in the SEC West. I really don't think so, but who knows? But one of them. Mississippi State's not really that good, but I think that Alabama just had that game. Mississippi State has nothing really good. Especially sadly, Mike Leach died last year, and that's really hard to have a coach die in the middle of the season. And I think Mississippi State's just still trying to get over that. And I see Texas A&M. We saw them play Auburn, like you said, Max, and Texas A&M just ran all over us. They were ready. And if they do that against Bama, and they did it against Arkansas as well, if they do this against Bama, they're a serious SEC West contender, and I think they are. I say they win this game 27-20 in rainy conditions in College Station. Jalen Milroe does not have his best game. He throws maybe 2 interceptions, and then Texas A&M takes a good lead in the SEC West.
I never thought I would see the day when all three of us picked Texas A&M to beat Alabama.
Oh wow.
Oh, he's
Today's
joining.
the day. I
Switch.
don't believe in Alabama at all. Like you said, Texas A&M, that sneaky SEC West team every single year, averaging 443 yards a game. And you talk about this Alabama defense, but how about this Texas A&M defense allowing
Yeah.
96 rushing yards a game? We saw it against Auburn. Auburn loves to run the ball, and nothing was working. Absolutely nothing. And like you said, Max Johnson's come in for Connor Weigman after that injury, and he's balled out. He balled out against a decent Arkansas team. I got to go with Texas A&M beating Alabama. I think this will be a shootout. I remember a few years ago when Zach Calzada was actually the Texas A&M quarterback
Hey,
when they won after that game-winning field goal. 2:30 game. We saw it, Auburn versus Georgia. We see it all the time. SEC 2:30 crowds are no joke. And with this stadium being 102,000
Yeah.
capacity, I mean, Jalen Milroe is not going to know what hit him. Go Aggies.
Must watch game.
24-17.
Yeah,
Rainy conditions, so low scoring.
We'll be watching that game with high intrigue. I mean,
We'll be watching that game at my watch party.
Exactly. Taylor's watch
Yeah.
party. Everybody pull up, listeners as well.
No, that's weird.
But anyway,
Don't show up to my house.
now we move to college.
Taylor's
game day,
address is blah 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 blah.
the biggest college football game, I'd say, of the season so far, honestly. I mean, this game, there could not be a game that has more implications this early in the season than this game does. Number 12, Oklahoma, 5-0 and 2-0 in Big 12 play. Goes on the road, or not on the road, excuse me. It's neutral site. It's going to be in the Cotton Bowl, weather permitting. But Texas, number 3 in the nation, 5-0, could be number 1 right now, but the AP poll, is the AP poll. They're 2-0 in Big 12 play, and this game there's a reason why they call this the Red River rivalry. Excuse me, my pronunciation was off there. Red River rivalry, the Red River shootout.
Red River rivalry.
Darn it.
Max Mesman highlights.
But anyway, add that to the highlight reel. But anyway, Texas, the line right now is the Longhorns by 5, and understandably so. I mean, Texas is balled out in these first couple of games, and the over/under, when I say Red River shootout, they think this is going to be a shootout. 59.5 is the over/under, and I totally agree with it. This game, I don't know. I mean, honestly, because Oklahoma, they're kind of like another one of those sneaky teams. And actually, I'm just looking at it now in real time. ESPN, while Vegas has the betting odds favoring Texas, ESPN has Oklahoma with a 54.4% chance to win this game, even after they got blown out last year. Or was it Texas or Oklahoma that got blown out last year in the Red River rivalry? It was Oklahoma. But anyways, Oklahoma has been kind of that sneaky team. They haven't played anybody really super good, But, I mean, hey, they played an Iowa State team that is not good. But when you're able to beat a team that early and that, that often, 50-20,
Hey, about that game, though, they struggled in the first half. It was 21-20 about 10 minutes to go in the half. So,
yeah.
But that's all I'll say.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they handle Texas. I've done a lot of upsets on the show so far, but I can't do this one. Texas is really good this year. They're legit. They're back. Texas is going to win this game over Oklahoma. Give me Texas to cover the spread as well, but this is going to be a shootout. Give me them 47-42. Actually, 47. I'm going to go 47-41, actually, to cover the spread. Texas wins this game. Completely break the over-under, smash the over-under. And I'm going to go with the Longhorns. I'm putting up the Longhorn symbol right now. Go Horns, hook them, and they're going to beat the Sooners this Saturday.
Yeah, I think Quinn Ewers is a great quarterback. He'd definitely be a first-round draft pick. Should be a first-round draft pick. I think Oklahoma's a good team, too. I think their quarterback, Dylan Gabriel's a very good quarterback. And, like Taylor said, Oklahoma had their struggles in the first half against a terrible Iowa State team. And I think that Oklahoma is going to have a tough first half, but, I think they bounce back in the second half. But also, I think Texas just keeps it going. I think it's mainly back and forth. And I say that Texas wins this one. I'm going to say 63-56.
Jeez.
Jeez, oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm going to say it's absolute just back and forth. These Red River showdowns, I've seen it too many times. It's always been high scoring. The Big 12 has no defense at all. I mean, Texas had some defense against Bama, but that's about all you'll see this year from any Big 12 team. And, I just see Texas winning this game 63-56. That over-under doesn't even matter at this point.
Hey, we talk about Oklahoma struggling in the first half. Texas struggled against Kansas in the first half. But I got to agree with y'all here. Texas is just way too good this year. This game is this game decides the Big 12.
Yes, 100%.
Whoever wins this game is probably going to win the Big 12 easily.
Who would be in the Big 12? Who would play? Would it just be Oklahoma and Texas?
It would be Oklahoma and Texas rematch.
Yeah, but if it permits, West Virginia, Kansas, BYU, and Kansas State are all up there in the rankings.
Well, Kansas probably would be the one because their schedule's easier than anybody else in the league.
But going back to my pick, y'all were talking about Quinn Ewers. I want to highlight the Texas running back. His name is Jonathan Brooks. He's from Texas, homebred. He had 218 rushing yards against Kansas with 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he's the difference in this game. The run game is going to – yes, we talk about Dylan Gabriel and Quinn Ewers, but the run game is going to be the difference in this game. And the Oklahoma running back, Marcus Mayer, is not it. Only 66 yards against Iowa State. And the yards rushing shows. I mean, Texas averages 191 compared to 157. Texas wins this game. They run the ball. They just do everything well. Texas wins this game. I'm not going to say as high scoring as Reese. I'm going to say 35-28 because if this is played in the Cotton Bowl, the weather's going to be absolutely terrible. So it won't be as high scoring as we think. But give me the Longhorns 35-28.
Yeah, if there was any team for me right now to be top in the national championship odds, to win it this year, I would say Texas right now.
Yeah.
But,
same, for sure. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, 100%. But anyways, now we move into the one NFL game that we're picking this week. And honestly, it's still not a great game, but I just couldn't live with myself for not doing an NFL pick.
Dang, Max, you good?
No, I was, figure speech. But anyways, we got the Ravens at the Steelers. This is always one of the greatest NFL rivalries. Always have bad blood. There'll probably be some fighting during this game. But the Ravens are 3-1 on the year. 2-0.
What about the Jets and the Broncos, Max?
2-0 went away. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-2 overall and 1-1 at home. Now, to note, Kenny Pickett is injured and he's most likely going to be out this game. They're not 100%.
Mitch Trubisky is going to be playing for him.
Who? Mitchell? Oh, yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that happens, even if Kenny Pickett played, I was going to pick the Ravens. They don't have a spread out yet for this game or an over-under, so we're just picking this game straight up. I'm going to say the Ravens win this one, and I don't think it'll be that close. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett wasn't even helping them that much, but still, without your starting quarterback, your team that's not really doing so great to start the season. I think that the Ravens, like the 49ers, blow them out. I'm going to say the Ravens win this game 31-14. I'm going to say on the road, the Ravens win it in Pittsburgh.
First off, if Mitch Trubisky plays, might as well just Steelers fans might
give
as well
it to the Ravens.
Y'all remember when Mitch Trubisky won MVP? Hello?
Hello?
Reese, you there?
Yes.
Taylor.
Yeah?
Okay, we can all hear each other. Anyway, yeah, I think
Go back to the beginning of your pick, Reese. We can edit it.
Okay, so yeah, I think the Steelers. If Mitch Trubisky starts, might as well just Might as well just leave the stadium. Mr. Trubisky's like maybe the worst quarterback besides Joshua Dobbs.
Hey, he won MVP. He won MVP on Nickelodeon. That's all I'll say.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But
all right.
He has more awards than Kenny freaking Pickett, Kenny McFraud.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett sucks too. So the Steelers might need to draft a quarterback. Honestly, just get rid of Kenny Pickett.
What's your final score though, Reese?
But no, I think the Ravens win this one 35 to, I'm going to say 10. 35 to 10.
35 to 10. I'm going to have to agree with both of y'all. The Ravens have honestly surprised me this year. I didn't think they would be that good. Their wide receiving core is horrendous. Me and Max were looking at the depth chart. We were like, who is Lamar supposed to throw the ball to? We all call him a running back. But who is he supposed to throw the ball to?
Thought Odell Beckham was going to be there, but, he's
injured.
But
dead.
the Steelers fans will pack it out with the terrible towels. It will be yellowed out, but the Ravens will easily win and move to 4-1 on the season. The Ravens I think, easily will win this division.
Oh, 100%.
And the Ravens have an easy schedule. They have a very easy schedule until the last 2 or 3 games. But give me the Ravens 28-14 because the Ravens offense is really not that good. But they're better than the Steelers offense. So
the only way the Steelers win is if the Steelers defense scores every point for them.
Exactly. And
especially after today, C.J. Stroud absolutely assaulted their defense.
Lamar Jackson will do the same thing, rushing and throwing. Mark Andrews will have a big game. Zay Flowers will probably have a breakout game today. Give me the Ravens easily over the Steelers.
And now we go to MLB Wild Card starting on Tuesday.
I can't wait to hear your picks on this, Max. The baseball ABC. Casual.
But we're gonna start, and I'll admit, no, I'll 100%
Corey
admit,
Seager.
I am kind of a casual when it comes to baseball. I need to watch more of it. I'm gonna be following throughout the entire playoffs. Gonna be keeping up to date. The game starts at 2 p.m. I'm probably gonna try and watch at school. But anyways. I'm gonna say
that school is crazy. Do your work.
We're gonna start. Well, I have Dillard's class last, but anyways, we're gonna start.
Who's Dillard,
with,
Max?
Who's Dillard, Max?
The nightcap. Yeah, Dillard, if you're listening to this, I'm watching the MLB. But anyway, to start off, we're gonna start with the nightcap.
Edit your Aces countdown scripts.
We're gonna start with the nightcap game. The Marlins at the Phillies. The Marlins finished at 84-77 on the year, and the Phillies finished at 90-72 on the year. The Vegas favors Phillies right now, minus 165. And
as they should.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. From what I've seen from the Marlins, they haven't impressed me that much. Although they've won their last 3 games and 4 of their last 3 as well. But I'm gonna go with the Phillies on this one. And we're also, for the listeners at home, we're going to be picking the team that we think is going to win and then how many games we think they're going to win it in, either 2 or 3 games. I'm going to go with the Phillies on this one. I think the Marlins might be able to steal game 2, but I just feel like the Phillies and Bryce Harper, I like Bryce Harper. I've seen him since he started playing baseball, one of the older guys in the league, but definitely going to go down in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Kyle Schwarber is also a really good pitcher. So I'm going to go with the Phillies to win this one.
Bro.
But give me them. Give me them in 3 games. Did I say that wrong too?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
The baddest outfielder in the world.
But anyway. Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, yeah. Give me Schwarber and Harper to lead the Phillies to win in 3 games. I feel like they're going to Marlins might steal one in game 2. But give me the Phillies in 3 games to win this one.
I'm actually gonna have to agree with Max. I think the Phillies are a good team, but the Marlins have kind of impressed me this year. I'm a big baseball guy. I love the Braves. I've watched every game on TV this year. Watched 162 if I have time to watch them. And I've kept up with them all year. But both of these teams are in our division, and I really, the Phillies want us to play either one of them. I wouldn't really care. But, I think the Marlins are really good. Their pitching's good. Their offense has been good this year. But I think the Phillies, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber's okay at times, eats a donut every once in a while in the dugout. But, Vogelback's the same way. But, I think that the Phillies I think the Phillies win this one in 3. I say that the Marlins give them a run for their money, but sadly the Marlins get eliminated first round. Kind of want to see them go far, but that's not going to happen. Phillies win.
All right. Yeah, like Reese said, I'm a huge Braves fan as well. I also watch almost all 162 games if the time permits. But you talk about Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, but I actually want to highlight Trey Turner because I remember they got him from the Nationals a few years ago, and last year he was amazing. But this year, at the beginning of the year, he was awful. He got off to the worst start ever, but he's changed it around with a 266 batting average, 26 home runs, 76 RBIs. Nicholas Castellanos is also very good. Bryce Harper's all right. Kyle Schwarber's actually really bad. He can just hit home runs every now and then.
And he did
Alec Boehm, JT Realmuto, one of the best catchers. Bryson Stott. I mean, this team is legit. Their pitching is legit. I want to highlight their 3 top pitchers, their 3 top aces, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, and Tyjon Walker. Tyjon Walker has 15 wins. The ERAs aren't as good as they should be, but their relief pitching is also good with names like Gregory Soto and Craig Kimbrell, Jose Alvarado. I mean, this team is very deep. Matt Strahm as well, Jeff Hoffman. The Phillies are really deep. I like the Marlins. Like Reese said, they're a good team. Luis Arias with the best batting average in the MLB. They have someone named De La Cruz that's really good. Jorge Soler, always a power threat. And we saw that in the World Series a few years ago when the Braves won. But give me the Phillies. The Marlins pitching is not it at all. And the Marlins are always awful when they go away. They're actually 38-42 when they go away. So give me the Phillies pretty easily. I'm going to say the Phillies win it in 2. I just don't believe in the Marlins, especially their pitching. They have Alcantara, but after that, they have Jesus Luzardo, who I just don't believe in that much. So give me the Phillies in 2 games.
Alcantara's actually out for the playoffs.
Even worse. So there you go. But anyways, we're going to move on to the Blue Jays at the Twins, the 3:30 game on ESPN. The Blue Jays finished the season at 89-73 and are 46-35 when going on away games. And then the Minnesota Twins, the Minnesota Twins, they are currently 87-75 on the season. Finished off strong, winning 4 of their last 5 games, and they're 47-34 at home. The bettors are favoring Minnesota, but not by a lot, -110. So right now, I remember you saying earlier, Taylor, you said that you think that the Twins are the team to look out for right now. Finish the season off strong. And I'm gonna have to agree with you. I feel like the Twins. Carlos Correa, you mentioned him. He's really good right now. I like Guerrero as well, the first baseman for the Blue Jays. He's really good. But I'm going to go with the Twins. I just think they have better pitching than the Blue Jays do. And I'm going to go with the Twins to win in 2, actually. I think the Twins get it done pretty easily. The Blue Jays didn't finish the season off that well. They lost their last 2 series. So I'm going to go with the Twins to win at home 2 games in a row to move on to the next round.
I understand the Blue Jays didn't finish the season off well, but the Braves faced Toronto early in the season, and I was really impressed with what Toronto did to us, especially being the best team in baseball. I got to go with the Blue Jays here. I just think the Twins division is not a good division. We're playing teams like Kansas City, Detroit, Cleveland, and the White Sox. All those teams are fraudulent and terrible. And I just think that the Twins had the easy way, and the Blue Jays will show that. I do think this will be a pitching series. For that first game, the Twins got Pablo Lopez on the mound, which he's a great pitcher. When the Braves faced him, the Braves had a little trouble early, but then got it done later in the game. And he ended up giving up 7 runs.
Did you say starting for the Blue Jays in Game 1?
No, he's starting for the Twins in Game 1.
All right.
They don't know who's starting for Game 1 for the Blue Jays. But the Blue Jays also have good pitching as well. I love Kevin Gausman, former Brave. He's a great pitcher. And I just see the Blue Jays out of this one and then going to the ALDS.
So I know I said earlier that the Twins were the team to watch, but I actually just found out that Carlos Correa will not be playing in the wild.
Oh no!
So And Max talked about the Twins pitching being better, but no, the Blue Jays pitching is so much better. Chris Bassett, Kevin Gossman, Jose
Max,
Barrios. They have one of the best relievers in baseball. Jordan Romano with 36 saves. Eric Swanson with 36 holds. I mean, I love the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr., all the big names. George Springer, Whit Merrifield, Matt Chapman, all great players. Alejandro Kirk. I could go on and on about the Blue Jays. The Twins roster without Carlos Correa, I just don't believe in it at all. Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez, like you said, are very good pitchers, but Max Kepler, most overrated player in baseball right now. He's young, he can be good, but the Twins just are not it, and it shows because the tickets are only $14 to a playoff game. So
they never show up. Yeah, they never. That's one bad thing about teams.
The difference between the Twins and the Phillies is the Phillies tickets are $173 because the Phillies fans always pack it out. But Twins fans never pack it out. Like you said, their division is awful. They're good. They have a good record at home, but I just got to go the Blue Jays here. I'm going to say the Blue Jays in 3. I think the Twins steal a game. I think the Twins steal game 1, but the Blue Jays come back game 2, game 3, win the series.
Oh shoot, I forgot to say who was going to win in how many games. Yeah, I think the Blue Jays win in 2.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't know about Correa being out. If I knew that, I probably would have.
Well, you got to do your research, man.
But yeah, I know.
What is he out? What is he out with?
What is he?
10-day IL.
We're going to next game. We're going to before we get to the last game is the Diamondbacks at the Brewers, the 6 p.m. ESPN2 matchup. The Diamondbacks come in at 84-78, 41-40 went away, so not really good road team. And then the Milwaukee Brewers come in at 92-70 and 49-32 when at home, so very good home team. This game is interesting because the Diamondbacks are kind of like a surprise team throughout the season. Not a lot of people, they're usually not super good. And a lot of people didn't think they were going to be super great this year. But no, they got some good players on their team. Christian Walker's really good. Corbin Carroll, I remember seeing some stat. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I saw it on Instagram. He was like the first to do some sort of stat. He's a really young player, young star, but I'm going to go with the Brewers on this one. I just feel like they're more experienced. This Diamondbacks team is pretty young, and they got a couple of injuries coming into this game. There's actually not a spread for this game, but I'm going to go the Brewers in 2. I just believe that the Diamondbacks aren't as experienced, not only when it comes to playing in the playoffs, but also when it comes to just their team in general. So I'm going to go with the Brewers winning in 2. Go Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Max as well, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. The Brewers are a very good team. The Braves played them obviously several times, and the Braves hammered them. Braves hammered everybody this year. But the D-backs are a very young team. I like Corbin Carroll, a great player. I actually went to the Diamondbacks and Braves game in July, and it was a great experience to watch Corbin Carroll play. What a fast player! Never seen a guy so fast before. He might win Rookie of the Year. And Corbin Carroll will help the Diamondbacks, but what won't help the Diamondbacks is the pitching. The Diamondbacks pitching has had their struggles this year, and it's going to continue.
Zach Gallen is the only good pitcher on that team.
And Spencer Strider honestly should win
Heisman.
Not Heisman. Cy Young.
He shouldn't. Oh my God.
But Zach Gallen, they're going to meet ride him until he wins it. But yeah, the Brewers pitching is just elite. Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff. I think Brandon Woodruff's still on the team. I'm pretty sure.
Julio Teheran.
But I think that and Julio Teheran too. But I think the Brewers win in 3. Actually, I think the Diamondbacks, kind of give them a little fight. The Diamondbacks are kind of like a team like the Marlins, but the Marlins are a little better. But I think they give them a little fight. And don't forget, tomorrow the Marlins do play. They do play that suspended game in the 9th inning, and it's in the 9th inning right now. That suspended game is against the Mets. So if they win that, they'd be 85-77 going to play the Phillies. So they'd have one more game up on the Diamondbacks.
So would it change the matchups or no?
No, it doesn't change the matchups. The matchups are already set. It just changes the record is what it would do.
All right, I'm going to be boring. I know I usually go a separate way from y'all, but I just believe in the Brewers this year. I love Christian Yelich. He's probably one of my favorite players in the MLB. He had an MVP caliber year, and then he kind of fell off, but he's kind of back. You know, 270 average, 19 home runs, 76 RBIs. This is not a home run team. If you're looking at home runs based off the Brewers, they are not a home run team. They're a grit, old school baseball team. Get on base, get a hit, drive them in. Willie Adames is really good at shortstop as well. And William Contreras, former Braves, shout out. He's balling out right now with a 291 average and 157 hits. I got to go the Brewers. And like you said, Corbin Burns for the Brewers and Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta is very good. I think he's actually one of the front runners for NL Cy Young as well. I just got to go the Brewers here. I love that the Diamondbacks made it. I love that there's a different team, and they're a very tough division with the Dodgers, the Giants, and all those teams. But give me the Brewers in 2 easily. I got to go the Brewers here.
And now we move into our last pick of the day of the podcast of the night. Now, my main matchup, the Texas Rangers at the Tampa Bay Rays. The Texas Rangers come into this game 90-72, but 40-41 when on the road. Not really good. And they go up against the Tampa Bay Rays that's not only 99-63 on the year, but also 53-28 when at home. They got a really big home field advantage. I know they play in that dome, Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tampa Bay Rays are a pretty big favorite, -140 according to the betting odds right now. And I talked about it earlier, and I think that the Rays are going to win this one. I mean, just the fact that, Taylor also had them in their trash can earlier in the year. I know they've kind of improved.
I had the Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers. Yes, the Rangers. Excuse me. But they've kind of improved since then, but not really. I mean, Adalis Garcia and Corey Seager are really good, along with the other player that I said. What's his name?
Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien, yes, excuse me. Marcus Semien as well. But I don't think their pitching is not great as well. It really hasn't done very good. And so I'm going to go with the Rays. I know that they are starting Tyler Glass now, but or Glasnow, excuse me. And Zach Eflin's going to come up big as well. I do think this is going to be a 3-game series. I think that the Rangers will steal one either in game 1. I feel like they're going to win game 1, and then Tampa Bay is going to win the next 2. But give me the Rays at home to win this series to start the playoffs off strong.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rays. The Rangers, like you said, Max, they don't have the pitching. They have the offense, but the pitching really hasn't been there. Losing, like Taylor said earlier, losing their last 3 out of 4 to the Mariners, who should have made the playoffs, but sold against the Astros. Somehow the Astros won the division. But the Rays, I just see them winning, especially, I mean, it's at their place, but the Rays don't really have a lot of home support, sadly. I think the Rays win this. I think the Rays win the first game, the Rangers strike back in the second, and then that third game, the Rays win, and the Rays move on to the ALDS. I got Tampa Bay.
I got to be boring again. I have to agree with y'all. Being in the AL East for the Rays, if they were in any other division, they would have easily made the playoffs as a 2 seed. But, they were in the same division as the Orioles, the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Red Sox. Red Sox are poverty, but we won't go into that right now. But I got to go the Rays. At the beginning of the year, I really thought the Rangers could make a World Series push. They signed Jacob deGrom, they signed Corey Seager, they signed Marcus Semien, Frick. What's his name from the Nationals?
Maxwell Sturgill.
Max Scherzer, two different colored-eyed goofy boy. But Jacob deGrom, season-ending injury in preseason, and Max Scherzer. We all know how that turned out. But I got to go the Rays here easily. Tyler Glasnow is a really good pitcher. I just don't see a world where the Rangers even make the ALDS. I didn't think the Rangers would even make the playoffs, so the fact that they snuck in here,
Yeah,
props to them. But give me the Rays. I think Yandy Diaz hits about 5 home runs in 2 games. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for the Tigers Den episode 6. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Be sure that you rate us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify, whatever you're listening on, as well as be sure to email us at hsmassmedia@auburnschools.org. Any questions or anything you want to say to us, and we'll talk about it, shout you out.
Recommendations for sports. If we don't talk about something that y'all want, let us know, like soccer, tennis, anything.
Yes, any recommendations that y'all have, just email it to us. That's ahsmassmedia@auburnschools.org. But that's all I have to say. That's all we have to say.
Bye,
And
bye,
good
bye,
night,
bye, bye.
and
Max
we hope y'all
Mesman
enjoy
highlights. My
this
hands
week
are
of
going crazy.
sports.
Go Duke!
Go Tigers!
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central. Also be sure to check out our other podcast, Play Callers, where we interview a coach from Auburn High School football. Be sure to check out those episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central on all platforms.